Welcome to Professional Selling Strategies. The workshop in which you are about to participate is a sales training program developed specifically by Sales Systems Development Incorporated for consumer products and food service industries. The workshops are designed to develop the capabilities of beer, wine, and spirits distributors, food brokers, manufacturer direct sales personnel, and others responsible for achieving sales volume, distribution, merchandising, and promotional objectives with retail and food service accounts. During the program, new sales representatives will learn how to sell in different customer situations and develop the critical skills they will need to be effective and quickly progress in their territories. Experienced salespeople will have an opportunity to revisit the key principles and techniques involved in persuasive sales communication, as well as learn new ideas which improve their in-store sales productivity. During the Professional Selling Strategies workshops, you will have an opportunity to relate the selling ideas presented to the products you represent and to the customers with whom you do business. Opportunities will also be provided throughout the session to apply the sales principles and techniques described. Actually applying the selling ideas to your current products and programs will increase your confidence, enhance your understanding, and enable you to sharpen your skills. The program was developed and is conducted by Bob Brown. In addition to being president of Sales Systems Development Incorporated, Bob has been involved for over 25 years in your industry as sales representative, manager, and director of sales training for a major firm. He has functioned as consultant serving supplier, distributor, and broker sales organizations. The Professional Selling Strategies Sales Training Seminar offers 3 sessions. The first session, Building Customer Relationships Through Professional Selling Efforts, defines the relationships sales representatives should seek to cultivate with their customers, describes a sales communication formula, and explains the 3 selling approaches that have evolved over the years and how those approaches apply to specific customer selling situations. In the second segment, Selling Based on How Customers Think, you'll learn a 3-step selling process which defines specific principles and techniques, such as how to close, that have proven to be of tremendous value in helping salespeople plan their selling strategies and achieve goals with specific customers. The final segment, Need Satisfaction Selling, will teach how to develop rapport and establish credibility on sales calls. You will also learn how to evaluate the personal style of each customer and how to use questioning and probing techniques to identify customer needs and buying criteria. A key segment of the session is directed at how to anticipate objections and techniques for responding that are effective.
Those key ideas are, what is traditional selling versus the kind of professional sales effort and salesmanship that's going to be needed in the future? We're going to look at 3 basic approaches to selling that have been around and are being taught to salespeople, which have different applications in different situations. We want you to understand where these various approaches best apply and where they're most effective. Then we're going to get into 2 of those in depth because there are 2 of them that are important. First of all, we're going to talk about one approach to selling called buyer or customer thinking process, which gives you a well-structured, organized presentation with 3 fundamental parts: an opening, a proposal, and a close. And you'll find that learning this will build your skills, make you more effective, particularly when you know what situations in which to use this. And it'll serve very effectively for you as a framework, if you will, for one, planning your presentations so that you can be well prepared when you walk into that store, as well as for evaluating what you've done afterwards. Then we're going to go on to kind of the next step, which is called need satisfaction selling. And this also has applications or uses in situations where the one I just mentioned, customer thinking process, isn't going to be effective. This focuses more on developing and identifying the needs of the customer. We're going to get into some things that deal with how do you evaluate people and, in essence, build rapport. Because rapport, despite what some people say, does have a place in selling. And we'll look at the 2 critical elements in rapport: your ability to demonstrate empathy and your ability to evaluate and respond effectively to people. Because however sophisticated our business is, it still comes down, in many cases, where people like to buy from people that they relate to effectively. That's one thing about human nature that's never going to change. So we'll look at how to build rapport, how to establish your credibility as a professional personally and on behalf of your company and the products you represent. And finally, we'll get into what is the bane, the biggest difficulty for some salespeople, is how to handle objections. All right, let's take a look now at the sales presentation process that relates to the way that buyer thinks. We're talking about a sales presentation approach that has 3 basic steps, each of which has a specific purpose or objective. The first part of the sales presentation process is the opening. The opening. The purpose of the opening is simply, remembering the situation we described in the store, getting that customer's attention, overcoming indifference, if you will, overcoming indifference. The second step is then the proposal. The proposal is the guts of the presentation. It's the guts of the presentation. It's that new product, that display program, that feature ad that you want to get, and the reasons why and what's in it for the buyer. The purpose here, obviously, is to create interest, create desire, and overcome any doubts, answer any questions that buyer has at that point in time. And then the third step, obviously, is the bottom line, the close, getting the order, getting the buying decision. Okay, at this point in time, what we'd like to do is have everybody practice this a bit. I'm going to ask each of you to prepare 2 openings for a presentation. Evaluate them against those principles.
Stop and prepare attention-getting openings for a product you represent. Be certain the opening you prepare meets the 4 principles that were discussed.
The place where salespeople most often make mistakes with features and benefits. A lot of experienced salespeople fail to convert features into benefits. They make the assumption that the customer knows what those benefits are. So I'm going to outline for you, before I give you an opportunity to actually practice this as well, to use a phrase which is a key bridging or transitional phrase that can help you ensure that when you're talking about the features of your products and programs, that you do indeed translate it into benefits. Look at the feature-benefit relationship like the foundations of a bridge. And they really are the foundation upon which effective sales presentations are made. So you have the features, you have the benefits. And again, our concern is how effectively we bridge these, translate features into benefits. Now what I'd like you to do is take these 4 words that I give you and plant these up here and remember to use them literally in every presentation. Because of the people I've trained over the years, probably more of them have come back with feedback about how this has helped them than any other one single area. We're talking about a feature, attractive packaging. The phrase becomes, which means to you. The packaging of this product, the packaging is attractive, which means to you more impulse sales, and therefore, at this particular margin, a profit opportunity. This larger package, which means to you a higher unit sale and a higher unit profit. We identify and develop customer needs by first building rapport, building a communications rapport with them where, if nothing else, they're willing to tell you a little bit about their business, what their problems are, and what they're looking for. We build rapport. We have to second, establish credibility, and then third, gather information as a result of asking questions. So there are 3 basic elements in that first step of developing customer needs: building rapport, establishing credibility, gathering information on customer needs and buying requirements. So we're going to look at these 3 one by one. So as we look at these, you can begin to develop and identify which they have 4 different distinct social styles or communication styles that people have, which determine how they want to be handled in a sales presentation, how they want to be handled as a customer. You look first here where you have somebody who happens to be low assertive, low responsive. Low assertive, low responsive is what's been called or identified in terms of style the analytical. The analytical. Here's the individual that wants to gather the facts, right? Evaluate the alternatives, a lot of questions to get facts and figures. Then they sit back and they take a fair amount of time in making the decision, but they compare all the different alternatives. They want a lot of information, and they may want to think about it before they put that new item in or decide on your promotion versus your primary competitors. So low assertive, low responsive, quiet, right? Now, on the other hand, you have high assertive, low responsive. This individual they've called the driver. The driver. Very bottom line oriented. This is the one when you walk in and you've got this wonderful advertising and point of sale material, and the rest of this program that you want to show them says, what's the deal? Now, here we have low assertive, high responsive. This one has been called the amiable. Likes to interact with people. Very often characterized by the old line, they want to like you before they will really do business with you. Then over here you have high responsive, high assertive. This style is called the expressive. The expressive. This is in the individual who is very stimulating, very outgoing, excitable, turned on, likes to be creative. On the other hand, may be somewhat disorganized. And objection handling is probably one of the skills that salespeople continue to develop and refine, whether they've been in the business 5 years, 15 years, or 25 years. Because the objections continually change based on the market and the kinds of products that are being sold and presented, as well as the competitive situation. That's continually changing. So really professional salespeople are individuals who continue to work on developing their skills in handling objections.